here. So need to move some disks around. So we have this server with two logical disks, which are then connected to two different sets of physical disks, and we need to remove that group of 10 because it's going to go into my server upgrade project. So I'll show you how to delete a logical volume. I've already moved the files out of that logical volume, so there's nothing that I want to keep on. So now I come into the office, and the next thing to do is to go into the operating system and back up the files from the volume that you intend to get rid of. And also I do recommend that you go in and you delete all the partitions. And if it's like Windows, then you use this manager, and the same thing in Linux. But I won't be demonstrating how to do that. But and if you're sharing it on the network, then also I recommend that you delete the share. So once you've done all those procedures, then the operating system will theoretically get upset if you go and delete the volume on the low level, or you take away the logical disk on the low level, and then end up with with losing it. Now, I did have an accident that when I played in the actual process of removing the logical volume, then I lost the sound, so the sound input. So the next video I'm going to voice over, or is voiced over, so that you can actually understand I won't say everything that I said because I can't remember what it was, but I will highlight the main points, because now I can't delete the logical volume for the second time because it doesn't exist. So that was a bit of creating YouTube accident. But anyway, I recommend you just watch the highlights anyway, because those I will be commenting. So anyway, here we go. So the idea is that I used ILO to the HTML5 interface to take a remote desktop session with the server. And then I booted up the server, and then I hit F5 in the boot process, and then you end up in the smart controller configuration software. So this is the smart controller configuration software. And as you see, I had a lot to say, but I can't remember what I said. I wonder what he's talking about. Can't you just move on? Finally, this can actually do something. So anyway, the first thing to do is to actually search out where you actually configure the logical disks. And that I took, because I haven't used this software for a while. As you see, it took me a little while to understand where it was the option, but it's the actual. It's going to be in the array handling. So then you have the option of seeing the logical physical disk layout. So here you see the two logical disks. And if you've been watching my channel, then we actually created these logical volumes. It was a video quite a long time ago. Or not so long time ago, because those disks I have added quite recently. So I actually added these 10 disks to that server as a second logical volume. And then, now we're taking them out. Going to be moved to be used over. So I'm just being careful that I identify the correct logical volumes. Don't want to go delete the operating system logical disk, because then it'll be a disaster. And if you were going to do this in an enterprise environment, then you need to make double sure that you've backed up everything and that you're actually working on the correct server. So if you have a server room with 10 servers, then you definitely do not want to be doing this on the wrong server. You're probably going to get a call from a few selected people. Well, basically, it was quite easy. You just make sure you identify the correct thing, and then you just delete that one, and then it would just take them away, take away the configuration. And as you see now, we have the same configuration that I started with. So when the 10 disk block was not added, so now we have one logical volume, which is the operating system and some data space. Now I had to try and remember how you exit this program in a logical way. Because there's no like, you just use the X to go, but I mean it would be nice if you had more clear, like a big button or something saying X. But anyway, then we get out of. And then here again, you need to like click on that button to actually then choose if you want to reboot or shut down. And here we're going to stick around actually because I didn't actually display when I was trying to get into the smart controller utility where you need to press the F5. But I was focusing on how to press F5 on the right place, so I didn't actually record that. But here I'm going to show it, so you'll see when it goes through the post processes, and then it will pop up the smart controller configuration with the options to press different F numbers, and one of them is F5. Now, one of the things that I've been having is even if you think you pressed the F5 at the right time, at the right place, then it could still continue and just boot into the operating system. So I think my highest record is trying 3 times before I actually got into the configuration tool. Even though I thought I pressed F5 at the correct location. And then here I was wondering if one needed to press space to get rid of this logo. But that might have been some other server configuration. Because sometimes these servers, they do that. They put a logo on top of the screen, and then you actually need to press a button. You need to press a key to get rid of the logo, so you can actually see this text. You can see the boot text. I have no idea why they do things like that. Oh, here we are. This is where the HP Smart Array, and then it has on the first line press F5 to run the HP utility. So you need to press F5 here, and hopefully it accepts it. And then when it accepts it, then it'll go into the utility. But anyway, now it's just going to continue the normal boot process, so I'm not going back into the utility. And then I'm saying, like, have I deleted the wrong logical volume? As always, one gets so paranoid. So if I've deleted the wrong logical volume, then you won't get an operating system. It'll fail to boot into the operating system. Oh, see, no, it's going to go into Windows. And yeah, and then I was saying about to go physically remove the disk. So they are SAS disks called swappable, so you could actually go to the running server and just pull the disks. But I'm going to shut down the server before I go pull the disk. But you actually don't need to do that because it's hot swappable disk. So let's come back when I have the disks. Bit noisy for video, as you see now. instead of 10 discs is dark, so that's okay, so it's the right server that's been shut down. So I shut it down, as you see there's no disc line. And then I'm just going to move the discs into the box. Oh, that's the discs in the box. Put my gloves on the side there just to stop the discs from flying around inside the box while I carry them in. Alright, so that's done. So, what do I need the discs for, you may ask, and that's to go into the upgrading to DL380 Generation 9 servers. So these take, each of these units takes 10 discs, and I have two Generation 9s. I actually have a Generation 8 also. So we're just going to, I won't show all the installations, not really much point. But with the connector side down, opens it up, and then I'm going to populate the top row, press it in, and lock it in place. So then I'm going to do there, so it's that row, and then the next row is integrated into the so-called CPU memory box, which you can pull out of the unit. So when I've got the memory installed, then I'm going to push it back into the unit, so it's locked in. But it's basically the same connector row down, and then plugs it in and presses it in, and it should just lock in place. So I'm just going to fix the rest of the discs. So that's all the discs slotted into place. So the top row and then the bottom row in the CPU memory box. So anyway, I got all the discs in those one disc that had a mechanical guide problem. I had to take the screw out, screw it back in again, but then it was fine. As you saw, that machine hasn't got any memory yet, so I can't start it. But that's how you do the discs. How you safely remove a logical module and take the remote physical discs and yeah, install them where you need them. So if you enjoy this type of content and want to generally follow the build, because of course there's going to be more activity on the machines, parts are incoming, feel free to join. And also, if you did get this far, could you consider subscribing and hitting the like button? That would actually help out the channel a lot, because I'm not that far away from 1,000 subscribers. But you don't have to, it's up to you. Okay, see you in the next one.